Welcome to State of Wellbeing, a podcast from South Dakota State University. The State of Wellbeing is a holistic well-being podcast with the goal of supporting the campus community as we strive to be a growing, high-performing, and healthy university.
Well, welcome to another episode of the State of Wellbeing podcast. My name is Teresa Seefeldt. I'm the Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education here at SDSU and a member of the Mental Wellbeing team. And I'm joined today by one of our academic advisors, Chanda Walter. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, thanks, Teresa. My name's Chanda Walter. I'm one of the academic advisors in the College of Education and Human Sciences.
Yes. Well, today we're going to be talking about a topic that is really important to our students, particularly here at the beginning of the academic year, but it's also an area that our faculty and staff have a really important role in. And that topic is selection of a major or potentially a major change. Now, you might be wondering what selection of a major has to do with state of well-being, but remember, we define well-being as an optimal and dynamic state that allows people to achieve their full potential. And certainly, selection of a major in higher education is a big part of helping all of our students achieve that full potential. Earlier this month, we had a podcast episode that was on the dimensions of wellness. And if you've listened to that episode, you'll recognize that we have 8 dimensions of wellness. And the one that is most closely connected to this topic is occupational wellness. And so I'm just going to read the definition of occupational wellness as a reminder of that particular dimension. That occupational wellness emphasizes the importance of finding meaningful and rewarding work that empowers a well-balanced personal life. And it includes areas such as seeking to learn and developing new skills, valuing lifelong learning, and developing critical thinking skills. And obviously that connects to major changes. But as I think we're going to talk about here today, major selection connects to other dimensions of wellness as well. It can certainly be a stressful period of transition for students if they're looking to change a major, and so that could lead to challenges with emotional wellness. You may be thinking about financial wellness and whether a major change will result in additional tuition expenses, extend the time to degree completion, but also what types of jobs and salaries you could get with the majors that you're considering. And then finally, I think social wellness comes into play here because you might be considering your friend groups and support systems within your current major and then how to build that within new majors that you might be thinking about. So there are really important connections to the state of well-being with this topic. And so that's why I think this is such an important topic for us to have a conversation about. And I thank Chanda for joining us to provide her perspectives on this. So I think the first question that I have for you is that if I'm a student considering changing a major, I might be thinking that this is just me that is struggling with this. But how common are major changes? How often do you see this as a professional advisor?
Yes, as an academic advisor, we see this quite often. By the time a 17 or 18-year-old student reaches college, their idea of a major or career has likely changed. And some students enter college with an idea of what degree path they want to pursue, while others are still very undecided. So it is perfectly normal for students to consider changing their major. College is definitely a time for students to investigate and explore opportunities and their interests. About 80% of students in college end up changing their major at least once, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. And so on average, college students change their major at least 3 times over the course of their college career.
Yeah, so they are definitely not alone if they're thinking about changing their majors, are they?
No, not at all.
No, yeah. So we mentioned kind of in the introduction that this can be a really stressful period of transition for students. And I think it could be important to, just verbalize why that can be stressful so that, again, if you're a student out there and you're feeling stressed by this, that's not an abnormal thing. So can you talk a little bit about the stress associated with selecting a major or changing a major for our students?
Yes, of course. So changing majors in college can be very stressful for a lot of different reasons. I think the most important is it can be a lengthy process. Looking at when you change majors and learning that you may need to require meeting specific lower division requirements, maybe going back and redoing some general eds that are now required for a new major could be part of that process. Some programs have very specific progression standards, so you may have to apply to the program you're changing into, and you have to meet certain prerequisites. And then once you're in that program, you have to follow the order of sequence in the order those courses are offered in that third and fourth year. So that could delay your timeline as far as your graduation expectation. A lot of external influences also make a difference, such as maybe family or siblings that are considering that you should be in a certain degree or a major because they think you'd be good at that. However, it's so important for that student to make that decision on their own. They have to be the one to be excited about their major and their degree, and hopefully influences such as family, siblings, and then even roommates and friends that are in other majors aren't telling their friends to be in this major because they are. It's ultimately something the student should really make sure that they want to truly be in, so you can make a good educational decision when you're changing your major.
So SDSU has a lot of majors. What are some factors that you recommend a student consider when deciding on a major or a major change?
Yeah, a lot of things to consider before changing your major. And one is the implications that will happen when you consider changing. Will the change of major allow you to be here a little longer? Will you have to go back and retake some courses? Do you have to apply to the program or degree you're changing into? Cost could be another consideration. Changing your major might affect how much time you're going to be here and the cost of credits versus in your previous major. The plan is also most important, the academic plan, considering how that your major change will affect that timeline versus as far as your graduation and meeting the requirements you need in that new degree. And ultimately, most important, the career that you're going to end up doing with the major, the degree you're in. Are there careers in this new major that you are truly interested in and you can see yourself doing long term that you're really going to like to do? So again, it is okay to be let down by a course or a degree that you thought you would love. You don't need to force yourself to like something you thought you once loved. It's always important to pick the major and the classes that you enjoy and that are going to give you the most success.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point, kind of normalizing that experience that a student might have, and that it really is most important for them to find what they're going to be professionally and personally satisfied with, what's going to bring them that passion versus maybe just what they started with. Yes. Mm-hmm. So let's say we have a student that is in that circumstance and they've decided that they really do need to change majors to be professionally and personally fulfilled. Can you provide a brief overview of the major change process here at SDSU? Where would a student that's considering a major change actually start?
Yes, that's a great question. The process of changing your major in college can vary by school, but generally here at SDSU, the student would start with meeting with their academic advisor. Because meeting with your advisor, you can discuss your options and how this change will impact your graduation requirements. You may also consider to talk to career services. Then you can consider how your major will affect your career opportunities and explore all the different options of jobs in the major you're choosing. Calculating your costs. Maybe you want to get a hold of the cashier's office and determine how many additional credits you'll need to earn and how much more that's going to cost you while you're here to finish your degree. Learning from your current majors. Talk to undergrads in the field that you're considering to learn about and learn the classes, learn from the faculty and about the requirements. So do your homework. Go online on the SDSU website and search the different majors and minors here at SDSU and get a little background about the major and the degree. Look at the coursework. Try taking some classes in your new major. And you can even do that certainly before you make the final decision to change your major. It's okay to take an intro course or a course in management or business if you're just wanting to feel it out. That's what college is about, is to explore, familiarize yourself with different courses, so to make sure that you like those classes. And consider consulting, again, with academic advisors, looking at the degree works that we have, asking if there are internship opportunities and other ways to volunteer to get some experience in these degrees and majors. And again, just thinking about the implications of staying in your major versus changing it.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about some of the resources that are available to help students select a major, like the information that's online on the SDSU website, the catalog, degree works, all of those tools that we have here on campus. But are there other resources that are available to students that you would recommend that they look at when selecting a major?
Yeah, college students who want to change majors can find many, many resources on campus, including one, of course, your academic advisor. We know the majors and the programs inside and out. We can provide information about the impact of changing your major, how it might affect your graduation time, cost of tuition. But career services here on campus is another great option. They can offer many resources about careers, seminars, individual coaching, and help students explore the different careers. We have also here at SDSU many student success coaches. They may be available to help students select a major, and we have a lot of different mentors here on campus. We have faculty mentors, staff mentors, we have alumni mentors, and they could be available to help students who are interested in changing a major learn more about the field and the career, the occupation, and also help those students seek out other resources on campus.
Yeah, that's great. So for our faculty and staff listeners that are out there, we all want to support our students in all areas of their academic career, including navigating the major selection process. So do you have some advice for faculty or staff as they're interacting with students on these questions?
Absolutely. Students should also never be afraid to go talk to their professors, their faculty and staff about changing majors as well, because faculty can absolutely share their detailed knowledge about their field of study. They're the experts, and they can provide valuable insight into that major. They can also tell the student where there could be opportunities to help them with research and possible internship opportunities, volunteer experiences within that program. So always utilize your faculty and staff as well.
Yeah, that's great. So what about that student that is truly undecided and they are trying to look at this broad range of programs and majors and careers that might be available? I know SDSU has an exploratory studies program. So can you talk a little bit about the exploratory studies program and how a student might get connected with that?
Yes, hundreds of students here at SDSU are a part of our exploratory studies program. And this is a program designed for students who are uncertain about their choice of major, and they want an opportunity to explore the academic opportunities SDSU has to offer before making that final decision on their field of study. So exploratory really defines the essence of a student who wants and needs to explore his or her options. We have a lot of different varied tracks of introductory coursework that you can explore degrees with majors and fields studied at our institution here at SDSU. So when you apply to SDSU, you can select a track of your choice during the application process, and each track exposes you to specific insights about career opportunities in specific fields. So for example, we have tracks in education, social sciences, and management. the humanities, fine arts, and design, health sciences track, we have an engineering, technology, and math track, and we have an agriculture and natural science track. So during your first semester here, the student who comes in as exploratory studies will participate in a first-year seminar class that assists with transitioning them to the university, as well as learning about different career courses that introduce you to that academic track and career options. So that track provides a certain degree of freedom in selecting additional courses and to provide more depth and exposure in those different majors. While you're in the track, you continue to make forward progress on your general education and gain a greater understanding of your major and field of study. So as a whole, SDSU feels a sense of community and that it's important for the university to offer exploratory studies. It really helps those students connect as a community and learn that you can pick different areas you're interested in. So exploratory studies is definitely a really great option for those that are undecided, and I really feel having the different tracks is a good way to first let a student explore some of those major topics they're interested in, and then learn within that track what some of the programs and majors might look like. And it doesn't certainly set a student back because you do still get to work on your general education courses while exploring those different degrees.
Great. So I think bottom line is there are a lot of different resources available to students who are thinking about changing a major, trying to determine what that major, that ultimate career path for them would be. So students who are listening, I think I want to really end with encouraging you to take advantage of those resources. Have conversations with your academic advisor. Have conversations with your faculty. Explore experiential opportunities like internships or work experience that could expose you to these various career options. Look at student organizations that have a connection to a particular major or discipline and learn more from them about what they're doing. And finally, I am going to give a plug for the Explore Majors and Careers tool, which is on SDSU's public website. All of our majors, as well as graduate programs and certificates, are listed on the Explore Majors and Careers tool. You can learn a little bit about what that major involves, recent employers of our graduates, different certificates or minors that you might want to attach on to a bachelor's degree, all kinds of information out there. So take advantage of those resources. They can really help you navigate this whole major change process. Any final thoughts that you would like to share with our listeners?
Just remember, students, it's very common to have those feelings of changing your major. And first and foremost, your academic advisors are here to help you succeed. Don't be afraid to come and talk to your advisor, faculty, and staff about any thoughts of changing your major. We want you to be in a program and a major here at SDSU that you feel good about and excited about, that's going to set you up for your future.
That's great. So for our students, our processing questions for this episode, we would like you to be able to reflect on your current major, why you selected it, and if you're really finding that passion within your current major. We would like you to be able to describe the major change process and considerations for changing a major. What are some of the factors that you need to think about when changing a major? And then finally, for our exploratory studies pathway, we'd like you to think about those tracks within exploratory studies and whether that could be a good fit for looking at all of these different majors and careers at SDSU. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the State of Wellbeing podcast. And we've got a lot of exciting episodes coming up yet this semester, so keep listening.
Thank you for listening to this episode of State of Wellbeing, a podcast from South Dakota State University. This podcast is brought to you by the Mental Wellbeing Team and SD State Health.